2022 was another very busy year in the financial services sector. While it's a very wide and varied sector, there are certain macro issues that have prevailed right across 2022, which we think will continue to prevail into 2023. We have the issue of inflation, we have the issue of interest rate dynamics, and then there's also geopolitical uncertainty. However, 2022 on the domestic front, in the context of the Irish banks, was a relatively positive one. The Irish banks continued to delever their loan portfolios, which have made them a lot more sustainable in the medium term. This, allied to the consolidation of the Irish retail bank sector with the exit of Ulster Bank and KBC, has given the banks a lot more strength and power base going forward, particularly when you look back to see where they have come from post-global financial crisis. Looking forward to 2023, we expect further disposals of legacy NPL loan portfolios. We're expecting a more competitive secondary market for loans. And we'd also expect the emergence of different types of transactions, such as forward flow transactions, which have been very popular in the UK market in the last few years. Staying in the domestic market and financing, and in particular development finance, 2022 was a very buoyant year. It was earmarked by a lot of big forward flow PRS development transactions. Now, 2023 is going to be a little bit more difficult with inflation because investors are finding it very difficult to price loans correctly. However, on the upside, 2023 will bring a new planning legislation, we hope, and also that with that in mind, it will allow the Irish developers a little bit more certainty as to the Irish planning process. The fundamentals of the Irish finance market are actually quite strong, and so we expect to see further sustained international investment in Ireland in the medium term. Looking at the financing market more generally, we expect the first few months of 2023 to be one of consolidation. In the structured finance space, 2022 was a very busy period for support programs, mainly led by EU institutions, where they're trying to give finance for businesses, but also to assist with the green transition. We would expect continued activity in this space in 2023. One other area that has been very popular in 2022 is the area of sanctions and sanctions advice. Now, we think that 2023 will have a requirement for a lot more strategic advice in the area of sanctions. Our key prediction for the year in the domestic debt capital market space is that Ireland will see its first social housing bond, as approved housing bodies have a requirement for more diversity in their capital base. This is something that we've seen in the UK in the last few years, and we expect that to come to Ireland. Finally, turning to financial regulation, the pace of change in financial regulation continued unabated in 2022. For 2023, we're looking at an increase in the use of embedded financial products. We're looking at the increase in the use of AI regulation, particularly in the context of the new European legislation that's coming down the line. And lastly, we think that there will be an increase in peer-to-peer lending platforms as an alternative source of finance.